Welcome on this glorious Sunday to the World Doom League Summer 2021 season in Week 1 for Onslaught versus Wasted Potential. I am Xenaero, and I am bringing you this live broadcast with my co-host, KBlair. How are you doing, Blair?
I'm doing great. It's going to be a great day for Doom, my friend.
A great day for Doom. Now, these teams have not played as of yet. This is the first week of the season. We had the draft that occurred earlier on last week, in fact, and now the teams have had a little bit of time to play on this map. We saw the first game of the season yesterday, and if you missed it, it's up on our YouTube at Doom League. And Blair, why don't you run us through the Onslaught? See what makes up Team Onslaught.
Sure. So over on Team Red, we have Onslaught. Onslaught was led by rookie captain Daston. Now, not a WDL rookie, but he is a rookie captain. They're an inspiring team looking to throw their hat in for the first time. Daston made it to the WDL Grand Finals in summer 2020, but fell short of winning it all against Best Ever. But now, in summer 2021, Daston assembled a talented crew to rise to the occasion. Let's start off with Daston, the leader of the ensemble. Daston made waves in summer 2020 with Ty's OnlyFans, reaching the Grand Finals, but unfortunately dropping the Grand Finals to Best Ever. Now he's out for blood. Assembling a high-value team from the auction draft, Daston is looking to prove himself yet again, sporting an incredible rocket jumping running ability and a great fragging ability. His first pick, Dranzer. Perhaps one of the most underrated players in the league going into this draft. Dranzer was acquired by Daston in the draft for $19. The price tag is well worth it, as Daston has one of the best fragging ability in the league when he is on. The high fragging Dranzer can assure that Daston can run comfortably when needed and still have a reliable defensive mid behind him. Now, his third pick was King Dime, and that name might be familiar. From speedrunning royalty, WDL rookie King Dime was drafted by Daston as a third. His draft stock rose before the draft, playing private CTF and impressing many captains with a steady improvement, fantastic movement, and steadily increasing frag ability. King Dime remains a wild card for this team, but he's certainly improving at a reliable pace. So it's really going to be something else if you can see him, really tilt the scale in this matchup. And their fourth, Seneca, another WDL rookie. Seneca is a player who also improved the draft stock before the draft. He is a well-rounded player, but as a WDL rookie, it is impossible to tell how he will fare in a real game. He also remains a wild card for this team. Now let's flip it over to Xenaero to tell us about Wasted Potential.
Wasted Potential, put together by World Doom League veteran captain Alpha, is another team built for the playoffs. Alpha showed major cojones in the draft, picking up his first pick, Ed, at $24. So one of the highest draft picks in the entire draft. He also picked up That's Just Prime and Solar in his in the third and fourth picks. Two players who will fit the mold of this budding team very well. The biggest question for this team is dedicated offense, but with the game-shaping decision-making and fragging ability from Ed, a dedicated runner may not be needed if this team can overpower another team and exert their will. Now to Alpha, captain of the Wasted Potential. Alpha is a World Doom League veteran, as we mentioned, and returning to captain for his second time. He drafted the highest paid for player in the league, Ed, for $24. Alpha is known for his running and mid prowess, and this season he put together a team built to win. Moving on to Ed. He's the leader in our ratings in the statistics of doomleague.org. Even though he's only had one season to his name, Ed is known for his fragging ability, a utility on all parts of the field. Ed can do it all, and his game sense rarely ever betrays him. Watch for Ed to play every position this game when necessary. Moving to That's Just Prime. Eliminated in the semifinal round of summer 2020 by Ed and the rest of Ty's OnlyFans, That's Just Prime joins Alpha and company on a 5-week journey to greatness. Prime is known to be able to play all positions at a decent level, and his decision-making and game sense sets him apart from the average league player. Now, rounding out Wasted Potential is Solar. Playing in his 4th season, Solar joins Wasted with a chip on his shoulder. A league average runner, Solar also fits the mold of a malleable player, being able to provide talent whenever needed, especially defense. Certainly a starting quality talent, Alpha got a steal for a 4th pick. Now, we talked about the teams, but let's run through the map. And we have a little cinematic to play for viewers and players who are unfamiliar with the map.
Welcome to Map 25, Infection. Infection is a frag-heavy map comprised of a central narrow path between red and blue teams. Alternatively, there is a route from the midpoint up to a side entrance that will provide hard cover. In addition, a flag runner can activate a gate to escape out to mid, where their team can effectively cover them for a capture. Matches are played in a best-of-3 format, where the team that scores 5 flag captures, or the team with the most flag captures at the end of 10 minutes, is the winner.
Alright, and that being said and done, welcome to Week 1, where we'll be joining the server and watching the game unfold. And looking at the current board, we have 2 members of Wasted Potential, and we're waiting on Onslaught to join the server, but this is the broadcast server. There is a 60-second intermission between rounds, allowing teams to catch their breath and for us to talk a little bit about the game. Blair, do you have any further insight going into this game?
So, take a look at the betting odds. It looks like Onslaught is favored by 68% of the vote, and that would make Wasted Potential the underdog with 32%.
Now, we had a little Twitch viewer poll where Onslaught was the favorite by a factor of 88%. So, both in Twitch and in our little betting bot in our World Doom League Discord, where people play for a little BFG credits, little BFG coins. That is the favored outcome. We're seeing Onslaught as the clear favorite going into this match. And we're just waiting for the players to file in. And I guess there are one rule that is new to this season is players are going to have to start using their name that they actually sign up with. So that helps the website in terms of statistics and what have you. Which, if you're watching this live, the links are in the chat box, doomleague.org. We have a bar up at the top, a navigation bar, where you can look at statistics and sort them by any factor of metrics. Blair knows all about that, as he set that up between summer 2020 and summer 2021.
Indeed, it was a lot of work.
But it paid off. I mean, you can sort it by, say, damage or capture percentage per minute. We have our own internal rating metric that is used to determine how much a player can contribute towards their team's victory.
There's lots of good nerd stats in there.
And,
Very good. It's nerds.
We're just waiting on Onslaught to show up to their game. We're, a few minutes past, but well within the expected delay time. And we're just currently watching Alpha move around the map. If you haven't seen Doom capture the flag before, you're in for a treat. Players move very quickly, and the game moves even quicker than that. Most capture the flag maps can potentially be over within minutes if there is a big mismatch in skill, or if a team just simply drops the ball and can't recover. It may not be the first time that we'll see a game either go for the full duration of 10 minutes per round, or a completely one-sided victory. We don't really know what we're going to see yet. And that's what makes Doom Capture the Flag so exciting. But if our game yesterday was anything to go by, then we'll be seeing a lot of power in the middle, and a lot of flag runners that get dropped before they even cross that midpoint. And us at the World Doom League hope you are having a pleasant Sunday. Ideally, after this game, we will be touching base on yet another game that is supposed to happen at the top of the hour. But seeing as there is only one broadcast server, we're hoping that this game will get underway very shortly. And then we have another game, the final game of Week 1, taking place in about 3 hours from now. And what game is that, Blair?
That would be my game. It would be Domain versus Superchargers.
And for that game, Blair will be leaving the broadcasting booth to hopefully bring his team to victory. How are you feeling about that game?
Pretty confident. We've been playing well all week. But I mean, game time's a different animal. It's every given week, Any given week, not every,
Any and every given week. I mean, how a team can play in practice can drastically change when game time happens. The nerves are real even for veterans. And we have about a grand total of 5 players on the red team. No big deal. I guess this will be a 4-team matchup with Onslaught and Wasted Potential going up against the mysterious blue team. And there are players. Well, we do have enough players to start the match. Players have to get organized. We are also enforcing demos this season with the new website. Players are able to efficiently and quickly upload their demos. So every player is required to record before the match starts. We're just waiting on Wasted Potential to join their team. It looks like we do have 3v3 now, as far as the scoreboard goes. And Seneca is spectating for King Dime to join the Onslaught lineup. Daston Drains are in King Dime against Dr. Noob Alpha, and that's just Prime. These might be the teams both units start off with. And as always, the World Doom League is powered by Otomex, the online Doom multiplayer experience. Get yours today at otomex.net.
Yep, it's free. Free as in freedom.
Free as in freedom, as in free as in all the flag touches you can get.
Delicious.
And Onslaught Captain Daston is saying ready whenever you are. And hopefully we get a call vote in the center top of the screen. Call vote for restart, maybe, possibly, maybe.
The suspense is killing me. That is not.
That is not a random. Oh my goodness. Well, sometimes it's hard to call vote a restart instead of rand caps, but you never know. It's tough. It's tough out there. It's like herding cats. I don't know what to tell you. It is a feat in and of itself to get players from all over the world to agree to a single game time. And for games to start on time, it's a minor miracle.
Voting for the right command is, you know, not guaranteed.
Oh, please hold game for 1 second. Commissioner Ralphus is saying, hold on. And there's a brief intermission issued, an injunction to the games. So in the meantime, we get to see all the Doom guys kind of milling about. And for those who don't know about RAN caps, that is a command used in private captured flag, where it's really a pickup game. That vote does take from a pool of players who indicate they are ready and makes a random 2 of them captain. 1 on blue and 1 on red, and then they will alternate player picks and a pickup game will be underway. That's what RAN caps is for. It's an efficient method for getting just random pickups on, and a lot of practice actually before the season begins. A lot of action takes place in a private CTF server. Download Otomex and you too can participate in that. Get some games in, get some duels in.
Yep, maybe get picked for a team.
Yeah, if you're a new face and you're interested in competing in the World Doom League next season, by all means, download the port, get it set up, join the Discord, and start playing games with people. That's the best way to get your name out there, to get recognized. Captains will take note of that. Captains will take note of you trying, putting your best, and you can be shaped into a competitive player. I mean, King Dime. Let's talk about King Dime. He's a speedrunner. Been on Games Done Quick. Been on a lot of speedrunning, various speedrunning channels, and shown his stuff as a legendary speedrunner. He doesn't have multiplayer experience until now, and he's in there. This is his first season. This is his debut game.
Yeah, it's always fun to see.
Competition. Yeah, you love to see it.
You love to see new players, especially if they're experienced in other places of Doom. And, you know, for the record, Dime has some cursed Canadian internet that required a special comment from Otomex to function, but we're glad to have him.
Yeah, we, as is the case with Doom ports, I mean, you know, sometimes things show up and you're like, how is this happening? Dime was one of those players, and now he's in the server. He's ready to play his first game in the World Doom League, an organized 3 versus 3 captured flag competition. It's been going on since, in one way or another, even its predecessor at the International Doom League, since 2006. So, if anything, King Dime shows that movement, that memorization of how Doom players move and the delay of the weapons, you can transfer that to multiplayer. It'll take some effort to catch up with the players who've been playing for a very long time, but you can make it happen, and we're looking forward to seeing that, how that'll translate to the playoff pitch further on down this season. In the meantime, you can look at current statistics on the Doom League website. You look at doomleague.org, and up top it will say matches, and it will show the most recently played games. You can look at player stats in there. Pretty awesome system put together by KBlair. Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. Always love to see Doom get some love.
Without Blair, we'd be running the website off like Google Docs or something. It'd be atrocious. And I haven't got a update in the chat at least about what's going on. Maybe Blair can fill us in on anything. Oh wait, hold on. What's going on here? There's a call vote restart now.
Well, it looks like Ed's on a not reliable connection here. So Ralphus is trying to get the okay from both captains if he can play with his Not good connection.
The notorious connection of yesteryear. I'm guessing players are redemoing, and then we'll be underway. Sorry for the delay, everybody, but you know, sometimes things don't go according to plan. We're able to cover a couple topics in that meantime, talk about a couple players. And now we have a culvert restart. The match will officially begin round 1 of Onslaught versus Wasted Potential, starting off on Dr. Noob, also known as Ed. And the first touch of the game goes to King Dime. With armor and a little bit of health, he has to get out to mid and get past a wall of enemies, and he's not able to do that, but his movement was crisp, something you'd expect from a career speedrunner. Now watching Dranzer of Onslaught. Dranzer seems to be taking up a more mid position, and at least run interference, if not outright run for the flag himself. Frag heavy play is important. Ed with a touch for Wasted Potential. Trying to dodge, weaving, but trapping himself in the corner, and the flag is returned. Ed with another touch, but swiftly brought down. 1 minute has elapsed on the clock, showing how quick this game can move. With Ed having another touch while we're still watching him. The main runner for Wasted Potential. He does seem to get away. He's got 10 health, returns it, and scores 1-0 for Wasted Potential. Look at the frags after
24.
Looking at the frags after that first capture, 32-28. Frag potential between the two teams is about even, but it really is about how you cover your runner. Dranzer can't even get past the gate without losing 95 health. It's a tough life out there. Dime with a gate fake out goes out through mid, does not get the coverage he needs, but it's picked up again by Daston, and the coverage is there. Dime getting it most of the way, and then it's secured by Daston to tie the series up 1-1 in the first round.
And crucial double kill by Daston.
All right, got to clear the base. Ed out, and he's got armor, but he doesn't have the health needed. Red flag is returned. If the flag does drop on that snowy slope that we catch glimpses of, it is a tough spot to return. You have to walk directly over it. And the same goes for pickups. You have to walk directly over the flag, so height differences of any kind can make it pretty tricky for a player to pick it up. And that in of itself can be a strategy as well. Ed with a touch, but dropped. And there is a strategy too to having the flag up on top of that ledge there, outside the pedestal, because potential runners rather, have to move further, which costs them valuable time. Dime. A little bit of health, a lot of armor, but he needs the health more, and the flag is returned.
Still crisp movement. Not really a lot of accidental movement from Dime. I love it.
You have to love to see it, because there are a good number of players who their movement is a little clunky, but it serves them well because they could be a slugfest type player. Now we have a standoff. Eddie's being hounded, and the flag does get dropped in time for Dranzer to make a run. He was sitting over in the gate, kind of looking through the bars at Ed, but it ended up being a mutual return.
It's a nice return by Prime.
Speaking of Prime, let's give him a little look before we get the next touch here. And that wasn't very long, as Ed does touch the flag again. And he's out. Makes a nice little jump up to the ramp and scores again for Wasted Potential, 2-1. And we're about 4 minutes into round 1. And there's been 3 captures so far, so you could argue that it's a low capture map, considering how it's laid out, very linear map. Dranzer, 80 health out top, but intercepted. And Dranzer and Ed are their team's respective offensive players, it appears. Taking another look at the frags as we closing on the halfway point, 91 to 90. Dead even in terms of power on the field. And it's reflected almost cleanly in the runs as well. A lot of captures end up with the runner seriously hurt. Only one shot away from dropping the flag.
Dastin and Prime trading the top frag back and forth.
And that is typically associated with defense or a strong mid play. Dastin with the pickup, but he tries to use the tree to jump up to the gate side. In Doom, the small brown and gray trees, you can jump on top of them. They are one of the few decorations you actually can platform off of. Dastin in a duel and barely gets away with 15 health, but he's peppered from a long distance by Prime. An excellent return by Prime. But Alpha goes flag carrier to flag carrier. Drankster picks it up on top of the spawn. Flags are...
Oh!
What is happening? And that is...
What?
That is Prime with fighting spawns. And picking it up last second. To
That was
secure
incredible team play.
another point on the board for wasted potential. If you're Onslaught right now, you have to recognize that was as close as the margin could have come. Drankster outside. And the coverage is there. Dastin does pick it up. Showing it's not important not only to cover your flag carrier, but also maintain close proximity to pick up that flag and carry it the rest of the way. Excellent play by Onslaught to carry it to reduce that flag deficit from 2 to 1 with just under 4 minutes left. And leaving the flag dropped in the middle of the base can be dangerous. Flag carriers have to move a little bit less, but Dastin returns to the pedestal this time. Meanwhile, Dime making a run, but there's 2 enemies waiting right outside the drop point. Round 1, pretty close so far.
Yeah, if wasted potential. Oh, here's a grab.
Drankster with a double kill. Or what looked like a double kill, but he was actually assisted by a teammate, but it wasn't enough. All the spawns in the base popping right behind you as a runner. You either have to cover yourself flawlessly or try to get help from a teammate. And even then, that might not be enough. Dime can't even get out of the gate without being brought down. It's a very dangerous map for offensive players. A low capture percentage. I believe the top capture percentage in the league is Devastation. But it's in the single digits. So, less than 1 capture per 10 touches.
Yeah, it's a rough capture percentage.
Drankster with a good kill, trying to get out of the base, but just completely swarmed. Dime can't even make it to the switch. Slow grind. Yeah, we hit the 2-minute warning, and teams are in a tight race. Drankster says, "I need the cover. Go out first." And Drankster almost got that enemy, but now it's Blue's flag carrier that is in danger, and it's a mutual return. That spawn helped Drankster tremendously, but he misses the pedestal. But it worked out well for him there. He has to cover himself, trying to get out. 3 enemy players. Wasted potential does return their flag.
Wasted potential hangs on, then Prime deserves a lot of credit. His defense has been great.
Dime with another potential run. Does get out. He has a full stack of health and armor. Gets one. Does a little shimmy on the edges. And it's just handed off to Dastin. He needs to cover, and the cover is there. What a handoff to Dastin, and coverage from the rest of his team. The fantastic team, like, the teamwork there was fantastic, even though the block was likely unintentional. Ed is out. Gets the one person in his way. It's dropped. Can't get picked up in time. It does. Ed switched to the fist instead of the super shotgun, and that cost a little bit of coverage. Teams are tied up. 45 seconds. Anything can happen. And this might be... No, it's a return by Transer.
Great awareness by Dranzer.
Even with the flag being shot down. Now, Dastin might be clearing away. He has 60 health. Gets the person intercepting him in his own base. But he has to hang on to that flag. 15 seconds. Blue flag is returned. Ed is in the lift. Is in the gate. He needs it. And he returns. The gate is open. He returns it and scores it. 10 seconds left on the clock. It is not possible for a team to get from end to end. At this point, round 1 will end with Wasted Potential scoring in the final seconds of round 1. Let's talk about that game. Oh, it's 200 frags for both teams, like effectively 200 frags. What a very, very heavy power game from both teams. A dead heat until the very end. What a game.
Man, I mean, what an effort by Wasted Potential, man. They hung on. They played 10 minutes of Doom, and it wasn't settled until the last 10 seconds. Ooh, that was a great matchup. Great match.
Now, going into round 2, are we expecting Onslaught to change their strategy at all? I mean, it was pretty effective until the very end.
Maybe we'll see a Seneca in, King Dime out transaction here for round 2. I don't know. They get a minute to decide, so we'll see.
It's not uncommon for teams to switch out players. But in week 1, do you continue with your current lineup? We'll have to see.
Gotta believe in your guys, but Dastin's a rookie captain.
Now, starting off, it is the same lineup for both teams. Starting off at was arguably the MVP of round 1 with multiple captures, including the last-second capture to put them ahead in round 1. Ed with a touch. As there appears to be 2 offensive players in the enemy base, but they were cleared out. Now it is a best of 3 if Wasted Potential does get this win here in round 2. Then they will be winning the game in 2 rounds and thus get 4 points on the leaderboard. Now Drains are kind of sitting at the gate. Kills the person intercepting him as his team returns the flag. Very clean teamwork effort from OS. As Dime tries to get across with a back-to-back flag and it does not happen. Ed with 100 armor and health brought down to 0. Dime with a touch. But he is chased and brought down himself by good boomstick work from Dr. Noob. The first minute has already been action-packed in round 2. Blair, why don't you go over how the point system works in the World Doom League?
Alright, so since there was... If Onslaught wins this matchup, it'll go to 3 rounds, and they'll secure at least 1 point. If Wasted Potential wins, they'll win in 2 rounds, which means they get 4 points. Onslaught gets nothing. As we have a standoff here.
Yeah, Drainzer is out and across. He's about half health and getting chased. Ed, however, is at his own team's gate. We saw that strategy earlier on at the very end of round 1, where they had to open the gate for him. And great return from Dastin for Drainzer to score the flag for Onslaught. Now up 2-0. Excellent work. But yeah, as Blair was saying, if a team in the World Doom League wins in 3 rounds, they'll get 3 points. If they tie, they get 2. Each team gets 2 points. If you lose in 3 rounds, you get 1 point. If you lose in 2 rounds, you get 0. So obviously, Wasted Potential wants to win in 2 rounds and get those precious 4 points. And great work.
Cover.
As we were talking, Alpha barely escapes across the field. Has to do a little juke movement. And that armor, in fact, saved him. Green armor does afford you a 33% damage reduction, and that saved him from dropping the flag and thus scoring for his team. Great work from Alpha and the rest of Wasted Potential. And a little hop there from Dr. Noob. So
And he's still fragging.
And he's still out. He covered himself very effectively. He's in his own base, but that means there is, with 3 of Wasted Potential in their base, there's no one. King Dime turned around. Ed got very offensive And he not only returned his own flag, but then went out the entire length of the map with no protection and scored King Dime. What a run, a self-return, and successful capture from the speedrunner. Ed with a touch. Out to mid, but body blocked, and the flag is returned.
Yeah, what a cap by Dime. It's terrific.
And last season's MVP dropping to rookie player King Dime, showing that no player is safe from any other player. In fact, Drangster self... Oh, no, he got the boost! The boost from his teammate! Oh, what a heartbreaker. So, the runner got boosted by a teammate. Tried to propel him past the ramp, but he missed the pedestal, and it resulted in a mutual return. What a heartbreaker.
What a twist of fate. 1-3 is way more manageable than 1-4.
It really is something you... Yeah, I mean, wow. An unintentional... a fourth player on the field for the opposing team. King Dime with a touch. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We do sometimes see players intentionally boost other teammates because there is no friendly fire, so they'll use that to propel a teammate forward out of the enemy base, but right up to the pedestal and missing the flag. That was rough. We're about 5 minutes in at the halfway point of round 2. OS turning it on Wasted Potential. And it very well might go to 3 rounds if Wasted Potential can't actually get any momentum on the flag board here. The flag board? Is that a term? It is now. Ed out and across. He has the coverage there for a pickup, but his teammates were not able to pick up the flag and escort it the rest of the way. Sometimes in the chaos, you can't actually get to the flag while also trying to kill the players who are endeavoring to return it. King Dime missed the armor, but he has 45 health. He got... What happened there? I think he got body blocked by a teammate just out of view. Or an enemy player.
Not exactly sure.
I saw the helmet for a split second. So there was definitely another player in the way. You hate to see it.
Probably locked into his SR50.
Prime with a touch there. Prime was the defender in round 1, I believe. And trying to look at the scoreboard here to see the frags are dead even again. 124 to 127. No discernible advantage there. As we're giving Prime a little bit of love, we usually do watch the flag runners like Drangster with a touch out there, but it will be quickly returned. And Ed also brought down. We do try to give defenders a little bit of love here and there when there aren't a whole bunch of flag touches. They are crucial to a team. Don't think that they are not. After all, it's defenders who are going to keep the flag at home more often than not. And as players have gotten much better, flag runners have gotten a lot more wily and a lot stronger with on-the-move frag power. Defenders have had to get a lot more accurate, and a lot better with movement as well. So defenders do get a lot of love in the league in reality. On this broadcast, though, runners are the most watched category. And it's a sight to see every player come together from varying positions, be it offense, defense, or support, and try to convert these flag runs like King Dime looking down the barrel of multiple enemies there. Needs his players to move up, but it does get dropped. And sometimes you can platform on that one tree and get up top there. There are 2 ways to get to the gate area. One like right there where King Dime jumps across that large gap, and the other one from the tree. Players can platform up it and then do another jump to get up top.
Hard to use that tree when you have 3 people shooting at you.
It's hard to do any platforming in Doom because players not only carry inertia, but weapons move you pretty significantly. And that includes rockets. It's not a great map for rocket jumps, but as we saw in the championship of last season, Rocket jumps are super fun and very key to teams, including apparently Ed running the flag, bringing the deficit down to 1. Wasted Potential has 2 flags up on the board, and Onslaught has 3. As we're under 2 minutes left in round 2, Wasted Potential has to tie this up if they want to avoid a loss going into round 3. Anything can happen. We've seen it before.
Coming up in the last minute, something usually does happen.
Dime tries to get out, can't make it past the gate. Daston, while typically a defender, he's touching the flag himself, trying to get across. He almost does get across. The flag is dropped, but it is eventually returned by Wasted Potential, converging on that 1 point. We're under a minute now. Oh, we see a little bit of that Ed warping right there, but he is brought down. Doesn't matter if you're trying to run it normally or try to skip through time to grab the flag and get out. Onslaught is stopping a lot of the run attempts here. In the last 15 seconds, they don't have many more attempts here possible. Drainzer can get across. There is enough time for it. And it will be a last-second capture for Onslaught to pad their stacks a little bit. 4-2. It is guaranteed in the books. Onslaught will take round 2. Now we're going to round 3, where any result is possible. We could see a win for red, a win for blue, or a tie. And as we mentioned earlier, a win in 3 rounds will give the winning team 3 points and the losing team 1 point. A tie will grant each team 2 points on the leaderboard, and those points are valuable over the 5-week regular season in determining who will make it into the playoffs and who will not.
What do you think we'll see, Blair? I think we'll see Onslaught stay with that roster. King Dime definitely picked it up that time. I think it was 1 or 2 captures. Wasted Potential. They just need to do the same what they've been doing, but they need to cover more in mid.
And starting off round 3 in the week 1 game of Wasted Potential versus Onslaught. Or rather, Onslaught versus Wasted Potential if you want to go by the website. Red team is usually the defending team. But here we go. I mean, have there been any roster changes? No, same teams. As Dime picks the first touch in round 3, but it is quickly returned. Dranger tries to get that one shot off, but the pellets aren't there. Ed out with 65 health, but he's intercepted. It's returned. Dime dropped past the gate. Lots of flag touches in the opening minute of round 3. Lots of offense. Dranger touch, switch, armor, and tries to shimmy his way past the players at Wasted Potential, and he does a good job. He does get into his base, but it's too much for him to solo run there. The flag wasn't even at the pedestal at the time. It was going to be very tough for him to convert that. Teammates very busy on returning the flag themselves, which you, in the grand scheme of things, you do want a mutual return when possible to reset and go for another attempt. Now, another reminder, Onslaught was the favorite going into this. Wasted Potential was the clear underdog, which, if we're going by the betting odds on the World Doom League Discord betting bot, some people might get paid this round.
Yeah, for sure. Seeing a lot more cautious play from both teams because they're both up 1.
That's true. It's kind of a phenomenon we have noticed before that teams will try to feel each other out after a rough round. A lot more defensive heavy after the first minute. Not many touches, at least in mass. No back-to-back touches as far as I've noticed. And Ed frozen? Oh no, he's moving. Sitting there for a second, catching his breath. Drancer has the flag in hand. Needs that coverage from his teammate. And shot from behind. Took a little bit too long. And he had an unlucky spawn behind him at that one shotgun spawn. Shotgun can do a ton of damage in Classic Doom, as we know. In rare cases, it can one-shot a opposing player with 100 health. And a pickup from Drancer, but misses the gate. That is a very quick gate. Only one player in at a time, please and thank you. Alpha, with a run, tries to make it to his own team's gate, but it doesn't matter. Even dropping and being in the line of fire, he's able to make the rest of the way. He only had one pursuer, and he took him down to bring the flag up 1-0. Wasted potential taking the lead in as we near the halfway point of round 3.
Yeah, now we'll see a fire lit under Onslaught.
Something you'd love to see.
Nothing's going to penalize wasted potential for playing defensive here. We're going to try and wait out the clock.
Yeah, we've seen it before on frag-heavy maps, like map 25. Having a lot of defense can backfire if the team gets enough leverage on the spawns surrounding the flag, but by and large, if you got enough frag power to hold it down, it could be a great delay tactic to wind down the clock. But OS is still getting flag touches. They're still able to apply that pressure. Even if they're dropped inside the base, a flag touch does force you to drop back. It forces the team to acknowledge that there is a threat and they can't push all the way up. Dime grabbed the drop flag outside and ran out the front door. Unfortunately for him, there were members of Wasted Potential at mid. And we're closing in on 5 minutes left. This may be do or die for Onslaught to at least tie it up, at least get 2 points on the board.
Yeah, this may come down to the last 2 minutes.
And it really could be, for all we know, it could be a mirror of round 1, where the last flag capture, the difference maker, doesn't happen until the last 20 seconds of the game. Ed out to mid. There's a standoff. He does go for the enemy carrier. The red flag is dropped up top, but it's returned. Very close call from both teams, scrambling to return their own flags. If a flag gets dropped at mid like that, it's a very dangerous spot. Dastin with armor and a little bit of health. Is it enough to cross? But it is returned.
That was a great return by Wasted Potential.
Drancer, not enough health to speak of. Took a big shot there early on, and then the second one dropped him. Less than 4 minutes remain. And we saw a little bit of good shotgun work from Drancer there to return his flag, while Wasted Potential's flag goes back to the pedestal. Drancer missed the flag briefly, goes back to the switch. Not enough time and not enough distance between him and the enemy player. Let's find out where Prime is. That's just Prime, TJP. Member Wasted Potential. And current frag leader of the team and almost the entire server, doing excellent work as frags are 10 in favor of Onslaught. Not a huge margin by any means. Dime boosted across by his teammate, but can they get rid of the enemy players in the base? Noob. 100 armor, 100 health. And that's going to buffer them. 2-0 now. In the final round. Alpha with another touch. A back-to-back flag capture?
Oh!
And it was picked up and scored. It got dropped a moment away from the pedestal, but his teammates were there to secure it. 3-0 now in round 3. And just like that, the situation went from problematic to horrible for Onslaught. They now have to score 3 flags to even tie the series up. It is picked up by Dastin and ferried into the base, but he's low on health and low on options, while Ed has 100 armor and 100 health, waiting for the right time to move. Who's in his own gate side. He tries to be tricky, but the flag is dropped and returned.
None of the 2 frags he needed.
It's less than 2 minutes left. Are we going to see Onslaught pull a rabbit out of their hat? Ed.
Oh, beautiful.
Ed with a great self-cover on the upper spawn. And scores now 4-0. It's going to take a borderline miracle for Onslaught to come back from this kind of deficit. But, you know, as we get close to a minute left, that would require back-to-back-to-back flag runs. Stranger things have happened. And Ed, with the flag, goes toe-to-toe with the enemy carrier. And he's dropped. But the blue flag is ferried eventually to the flag stand. So it's not a shutout. Don't call it a shutout, ladies and gentlemen. Onslaught is on the board. They're showing signs of life, but it may not be enough with that sort of deficit to speak of.
Looks like this sign of life is a bit too late to get back into this game.
It's quite a reversal from round 2. Unexpected considering how close the first couple rounds were. But it seems that no one can stop wasted potential at this point. And they killed one carry, but they got killed a second, and it looks like that didn't happen. Dastin on the pedestal. Alpha as well on the pedestal. Both carriers hurt pretty hard. And there's a pickup, but it does get returned. And Alpha in the final few seconds of round 3 does close it out 5-1, ensuring that wasted potential will get 3 points on the board. And Onslaught will get 1 in a 3-round series.
Yeah, for wasted potential's second flag, what happened was all 3 members of Onslaught were in the wasted potential's base, and that just, you know, that's a free touch all the way to mid, and they just couldn't stop the bleeding. 2-0 became 3-0, and that was it.
Now, we do have another game slated to happen. It was actually supposed to happen about 20 minutes ago, but with our one server, they were delayed from starting until this point. Now, what 2 teams are we going to be looking at here in a second, Blair?
So we're going to take a look. Our second game today is Dosu and Friends versus Techno Vikings.
All right, and is there anything we want to say before players get underway?
Let's take a look, see if it's happening right now.
I want to say it is.
It looks like it's happening right now. Well,
All right.
this is a new team. Led by Dosu, Chain, X-Wiz, and Stark. And Techno Vikings, of course, the 2-time winners, coming back for a 3rd time, led by Caution, and with teammates Shane, Ghost Killer, and Vinny.
TKV's blue, correct?
Yes, TKV is blue, Dosu and Friends is red.
I'm trying to make this happen here, live on stream. I don't actually have a way of doing this easily. So, sorry folks, you're going to see the nitty and gritty behind the World Doom League stream. For
Peel
now,
back the curtain.
yeah, now it's there. Dosu and Frank and Techno Vikings up on the overlay. Hey, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But I mean, what's give us a quick rundown of who are the star players here?
All right, so the star players. We'll start with Dosu and friends. It's Dosu. Rookie Captain Dosu testing the waters, leading a team. Above average capture ratio, he can fare fairly well on the offensive side of things. With his drafting record, it's clear he wanted fragging power to go with his finesse. Can Dosu lead a brand new team to glory? And Dosu's first pick is Chain, veteran of both the IDL and WDL. Chain was drafted first by Dosu with a high rat and damage. Chain is a tall glass of water to a captain looking to stabilize the field and let a runner operate with surgical precision. X-Wiz is a WDL rookie, but he has given rise to his draft stock in recent weeks. A defensive-minded player, he is a true wild card that will determine the overall effectiveness of Dosu and friends. Watch for aggressive defense from him. And finally, who can forget Stark? Another WDL veteran, Stark is the last of Dosu's draft picks. Stark can really play any position. His experience is an above-average stat line will ensure his quality of play from Dosu's only friends will not lower just because they need to utilize a fourth. And should I go over Techno Vikings?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Techno Vikings, led by Caution, coming out of a round 1 playoff exit in summer 2020 while on the Steel Ball Runners. Caution brought back his repeat championship team, the Techno Vikings. Although the roster is a little different from that team, it shows Caution can put together finals quality talent. Caution is known for his elusive running style and also very proficient at mid and defense. His first pick, Shane, is coming from Rip and Tear from the summer 2020 season. Serviceable at running and mid, Shane brings a needed talent into the Techno Vikings, as he is very effective at decision-making in mid and knowing who needs help and when. And second pick, Ghost Killer, a member of Caution's winter 2017 winning Techno Vikings. Caution linked up with Ghost Killer again. One of the few best fraggers, one of the best fraggers in the league. Ghost Killer will most certainly be playing defense this season. A solid defense will allow Caution and crew the stable base it needs to get out of the base healthy and in prime position to get a flag out. And finally, Vinny, a WDL rookie. Vinny is no stranger to organized CTF. As a fourth on this team, it will allow him to gain valuable league experience. He's a wild card for this Techno Vikings team. And that does it for the rosters.
There we are. Both teams are ready to go. It is a little bit late for the game time on the doomleague.org website. It was slated for about 20 minutes ago, but we had an extensive game of Onslaught versus Wasted Potential, and both these games will be uploaded at the same time in one big block of loveliness on the Doom League YouTube, which, if you're watching this live, they'll be in the sidebar, doomleague.org, the YouTube channel, our Discord, where you can also bet on the game, and the matches webpage, where Blair has lovingly set up the ability to watch your what game times will be occurring in your local time. So thank you to Blair for that quality of life improvement.
Yes, the world doesn't revolve around Eastern Standard Time. The stock market does, but not the world.
Teams are starting to reconnect and demo. They're signaling they are ready, and hopefully we'll get a restart call vote here instead of a ran caps. One can only hope.
Oh, we got to restart.
There it is. Oh, it's a miracle. All right, and we're underway in round 1 of Dosu and Franks versus the Techno Vikings. Watching Chain, a high-rated player of last season. He'll have the first touch of his first game in the summer 2021 season, but it's brought down. Caution with a touch of his own and brought down in a similar manner. Ghost Killer with armor and health out to mid, but it's intercepted and returned. Chain. Trying to hit the switch. Third time's a charm, but he doesn't have 300 health to work with. So you have to hit that switch for the gate to open. And you have to get out there before you get hit a whole bunch by the defending super shotgun. But Chain's out to mid now. And he's clearing across to his own base, but there's a player waiting for him. And does get returned by Caution. Who, with the flag in hand, he has somebody spawn behind him, gets rid of him, grabs his stim pack, and looks towards mid. And the coverage is there. The green armor saved his life. That 33% damage reduction allowed him to convert that to a capture, 1-0 in favor of Techno Vikings. Chain can't get out of the base. And so we have first blood in round 1 of this game in this doubleheader of the World Doom League. Chain out past the gate, but only 35 health. Well-placed shot will drop him, and it sure does. Meanwhile, Caution with 80 armor and 30 health definitely needs more than 10 health. 3 health now to get back, and I believe the enemy flag runner, Chain, dropped him there. Through the bars. They know where Chain is now, though, and Chain has very limited health to work with. X-Wiz with a pickup. Gets to the flag stand, opens the gate, and is just playing for time as Shane is across mid, but in extremely dangerous territory. It's picked up by Caution and ferried across the top, but he goes back out to mid, very exposed with 30 health. And he's back on his side of the map.
Rockets.
And good use of rockets. I mean, the opposing player who came up the steps didn't seem to notice that there were rockets flying in the air.
Hate when that happens.
X-Wiz with some health, but not enough. I mean, he was kind of pinched between two enemy players. While Caution gets dropped, and Stark scores for a DAF, tying it up 1-1. And Stark only had 5 health when he converted that capture. Very thin margin.
It was 1v1. On the other side, they didn't. That was it.
And sometimes that's all it takes in the blistering pace of Doom capture the flag. It is a pretty frag-heavy map, as we got a possession from Chain, comparing frags at 64 versus 52, with TKV having a slight advantage. Ghost Killer across, little hop, little skip, and a capture, 2-1 in favor of TKV. Stark surrounded by an ocean of blue. And trying to get across. No, he's warping. It's oh goodness. No luck there. He had the bad kind of warping. He doesn't have the edge style warp. You hate to see it.
Yeah. It was a great return by the Fat Willy on the red pedestal.
And Chain is across with a good chunk of health. He needs that flag return though. And it's pursued and returned from TKV. Great return on the ramp. Very narrowly returned. Stark, 40 health and no armor. Can easily be dropped by a long-range shot. Chain does pick it up. It gets returned. There's a lot of great handoffs from Dosu and friends in this match so far, and it's been working out pretty well for them. They just have not been able to convert it effectively. But there's still 5 minutes left. And a whole nother round at the minimum. Caution low and then dead. Flag returned. Ghost Killer. Out with 30 health, but can't get the kill at mid. Caution. Dead as soon as we switch to him.
And it took me this long to realize Dosu and Friends is playing without their namesake, Dosu.
Captain Dosu is, he's in the server as Hardyween, but he's not playing for his team. It's rare to see a captain bench themselves and have their other players go for even the season opener. I'm not sure. Has that happened before?
Not very often. The coveted self bench.
A tactical decision from Dosu and friends. They are down by 1 flag, but only 1 flag. And it really is anybody's game up to this point. There's 4 minutes still on the clock. And as we know, games don't end until that clock reaches 0 or a team is able to capture the enemy team's flag 5 times. Chain, 50 health in a dream. Across, he does make it to the gate side, but like very narrowly shot at the top of the head.
Was a nice shot by X-Wiz.
Yeah, great play there, and a great return. It's one thing to drop a player on that upper ledge, but another thing entirely to follow it up and being able to return the flag. Stark. He's out with 40 health. He does make it to the other gate, but it's returned. Ghost Killer. Yeah, that was, you didn't expect to see an enemy player come flying out of there. But it sure happened. Chain with a nice flick shot there. Touches the flag, opens the gate, but is shot seemingly from behind. And it's quickly returned by TKV. Not much movement in the way of flag captures in round 1. Stark. A shotgun, 5 health, and not much else to speak of. What can you do? He tries to do the tree jump, but while he's being shot, that's a tough call. He's picked up next by Chain. With that armor, it's helpful, but not at point-blank range. Super Shotgun will drop you, even with 100 health and armor. Just isn't enough to protect you from the full brunt of that blast.
It was a heads-up play by Caution to make that return.
Chain out.
Oh,
But
tree.
blocked by the tree, the most legendary tree in Doom Entertainment. But it is picked up by X-Wiz and ferried the rest of the way to tie it up 2-2. Dosu and friends. Sans Dosu. Fighting back. And returning their flag that was previously held by Caution. You gotta watch out for those trees. They're strong.
We got a strong, but he will not move a tree.
Caution has a teammate up ahead. Just trying to get past the choke point here. He has very limited health. And it is returned. It's pretty good strategic decision to rely on the team to clear it out before you ran up. And that's where voice comms comes in handy. A lot of players nowadays have moved to TeamSpeak or Discord for communications instead of relying on the ways of old, which were just text binds. In some cases, players had a whole bunch of binds, taking up a fair few keys on the keyboard.
Yeah, plus reading the obituaries at breakneck speed.
Yeah, your only information on the rest of the map was being able to determine who was dead and who was respawning from the obituaries. Caution with a full stack. Has one to beat. Think he beat him. He's across, but he needs to cover. And there's no cover. It does get returned. Chain. With a gate fake, I suppose. Assuming the other players hear that noise. Chain is sitting at the gate. He says, please open it. Please open it again. Please open it a 3rd time. Chain's a man behind bars at the moment, and it is a mutual return. Oh my god. Last second. Chain was not able to get past his own gate. And Ghost Killer, with a last second capture, chased the whole way and is able to convert a capture with the last few seconds remaining. 5 health, the narrowest of margins. What a victory from TKV. Very hard fought until the very end. And a margin of 50 frags between them, showing that TKV is, of the broadcasted games, the biggest margin in a single round between the teams.
What a crazy game. I mean, it came down again to the last 30 seconds. Man, I mean, if Chain doesn't go out of that side area, I think we stay tied.
That was a remarkable first round. And now TKV is going to be looking to try to take this away in 2 rounds and get 4 points on the leaderboard. As a reminder, in the World Doom League, if you win in 2 rounds, your team gets 4 points, the other team gets 0. A 3-round victory will get you 3 points. A tie will get you 2. A 3-round loss will get you 1 point. And a 2-round loss will get you a big fat goose egg.
It's never good to have 0 points.
Now starting off round 3, watching Chain. Or round 2, I'm sorry. Oh my god, my brain is fried. One touch early on, but it's quickly dropped. Chain goes back for that med kit, please. Thank you, I need that. Has cover across, but runs into the enemy flag carrier. Picks it up off spawn, drops the enemy carrier, and then tries to get back into the base. It is dropped and picked up by X-Wiz, ferried the rest of the way for the first capture of round 2. Well done from the team. A lucky spawn from Chain, and then X-Wiz being in the right place at the right time. And yeah, first blood within a minute. Team Captain Dosu's still not in for his team. Showing perhaps great confidence in his team to convert flags and win in round 2. Or could potentially be suffering from connection issues. We really don't know at this time. Caution trying to dance around an enemy, but can't convert the kill himself. Flag is returned. Chain, 60 health, and out. Gets the person jumping across to intercept him, but its flag is dropped. It's picked up by X-Wiz again. A legendary duo, Chain and X-Wiz, now converting 2 flags in the first 2 minutes of round 2.
Yeah, that was really crisp running by X-Wiz, picking that up and scoring.
Ghost dropped. Stark with a touch. Gets the person behind him, but we just heard the spawn right behind him. And it's returned. Sometimes you just don't have enough time to turn around and frag the player spawning directly behind you. You have to weigh the options. Can I get far enough away so damage is minimized, or is it just hopeless? Caution does get across mid, and it's picked up by Ghost. It's picked up by Shane. The entire roster of TKV coming together to ferry that one to the flag pedestal. Now it's 2-1. Only a 1 flag margin between them. Chain. No switch for you. Chain again, out, this time taking it straight out to mid. And, oh, X-Wiz almost gets it. Chain almost gets it again. Last second save from TKV. And it is a mutual return, but only barely. Caution does take advantage of the base being empty. Runs right past multiple members of DAF and does secure a flag. Now it's a rebound. They went from being 2 flags under to now it being dead even in round 2. It's the kind of momentum you want. Especially if you're trying to get a 2-round victory.
KBlair is playing white hot right now.
Now looking at the frags, they're about dead even. 70 to 65, roughly. Showing it's anybody's game as far as frag potential goes. And to an extent, that's reflected in the flag count. In a map like this, it's very linear and narrow. Switching over to Ghost Killer for a second. Flag carrier in his sights. And is returned from 2 defenders in the TKV base. Not a whole lot of movement on flags right now. That doesn't mean that things won't change in 5, 10, or 15 seconds from now. Chain does get a pickup. A little wounded, but gets that med kit and moves across mid. Shoulder checks that cliff. It's very low health, 15. But grabs a med kit and some armor. While we look over at Caution on the other side, on the other gate side, in fact. And is unable to win that fight.
Oh.
Chain scores it! Like right before he gets dropped. What an excellent capture as he stared down the barrel of 2 super shotguns directly in front of him. He's able to, like, backtread back over that flag. And that's all you need. We're at the halfway point in round 2. Chain tries for another run, but it does get returned. Blair, are there any surprises so far in this match?
And other than Dosu, taking himself out of it, not really. But I mean, everyone expected TKV to perform well on this matchup. They have 1 win, but they're down in this. Plenty of time left, though.
Why don't you tell us what the odds are in the betting of this this matchup? I don't think we covered that before we got into it.
Yeah, so the favorite is TKV, 64 to 36%.
So almost two-thirds of bettors have determined that TKV is the favorite going into this. Caution does use his teammate as a meat shield. Says please open the gate, but it's not enough. Intercepted and returned at the mouth of the base. A great attempt there. Oh wait, Chain swoops back in and picks it up, but it does get returned.
Yeah, Chain had to spam a bind real quick after making that return. He was feeling himself.
Definitely something to behold. It's classic Doom behavior. Chain with a great base clear on the way out made that look easy, but it is anything but to clear a defender that many times and get out of the base. He's being chased. 3 health now. And it's a mutual return. He can't shake the guy behind him. A great return from TKV, but they're still down a flag. We're looking at 3 minutes left. Ghost. And he's across, 10 health. It's dropped at the mouth of the base, can't get picked up. It does by Caution and scored. A lot of pickup captures this game from both teams.
Lots of good cover, good mid play.
Now it's tied up in the second round. I mean, if you're DAF, you really do want that. You really do want to come out ahead in round 2 to at least force the 3rd round where you can potentially take the series. And from my lips to their ears.
Yeah, what an expert run by Chain. Made the drop too, but didn't make the return.
Stark does get out with a full stack here, and as if that full stack meant nothing. Quickly returned. But Ghost is across. I believe that was a pickup capture as well. I think it got dropped and Ghost picked it up, and that's 4-4.
Started with Stark, ended with Ghost Killer, and ended as a cap.
See, there's so much action that it's hard to keep track of all at the same time. Doom moves at such a pace that it boggles the mind. Chain, 100 health. Can he make it across? He does get across. Gets a good flick shot to cover himself. But how much time did it really buy him? Gets another one, but he has to move. Nearly catches a rocket in the teeth there.
Oh, man.
And the flag is returned. Caution and TKV sealing the deal. That is game. TKV will go home with 4 points on the leaderboard, and Dosu and Friends, unfortunately, will go back home with nothing in hand. But that doesn't mean their season is over. They have 4 more weeks to figure it out. Now, let me ask you something, Blair. Do you think if the captain participated in that game, would the result have been different?
It's hard to say. I mean, obviously, Dosu saw something there that he, was a bad matchup against the current players. So I'm going to trust that Dosu made the right decision there. But that 4-4, like the first round wasn't really that obtainable. The second one, was 4-4 until that last standoff. Caution made about 4 brilliant rocket frags after that. and really just cleared his own path to an easy cap. You know, that's just experience, and with a newer team, it's hard to find that.
And we're back at the intermission, the overview screen here, where we're looking at our first lineup of Onslaught versus Wasted Potential. And Blair, remind the crowd what the result of that was.
That would be Wasted Potential taking it over Onslaught 2-1.
And you hate to see it sometimes, but you know, sometimes Onslaught just can't pull it out of their hat. I mean, that was a 3-round series, and they weren't able to convert it. But it's okay. Onslaught will be back, and they do come away with 1 point. And you'll have to give me a hot second here, as I have to change the graphics for the second matchup here, which was. We run this thing off glue. Let's just be real. As for Dosu and Friends and the Techno Vikings, we just saw that Techno Vikings came out to win. I mean, that close first round victory, and then in the second they were able to string it together and come away with a 2-round victory. Is that the only 2-round victory we've seen so far, Blair?
Currently, yeah, everything's gone to 3 rounds so far, except this game.
So as far as the World Doom League broadcast is concerned, that was the most of a closeout game. I mean, you don't often see that in frag heavy maps, but in this one, unfortunately, we'll have to say goodbye to Dosu and Friends, and we'll be seeing them again in week 2. Now, that isn't the only game we have today. In a little bit less than 2 hours, we'll be seeing Blair's own game, the Superchargers versus Domain, and you'll be seeing that live here on this Twitch TV stream. And what just happened? It's okay. We're going to the outro, folks. Thanks for hanging around, and we'll play you out. And hey, you know, if you're around in a couple hours, we'll see yet another blistering game. This will be uploaded to the World Doom League YouTube, and by all means, check out our other media